Good afternoon, Rendell and Paola. My name is Pat. I'm with Epic Homes, and today is Wednesday, April 8th, and we're here trying to do a virtual pre-drywall walkthrough. I started rough inspections this week on your house, and I will be finishing. I'm scheduled to finish those inspections tomorrow, Thursday, and then I'll be insulating Friday and stocking drywall next week, Tuesday is my current schedule. So right before we go to drywall, we like to have our pre-drywall walkthrough and show you everything that's in the house behind the walls before we start covering them up. And we're going to start outside today. I have this little cheat sheet here, and there are several things that I'm going to cover today. For example, the grading and drainage and gutters and downspouts and elevations, window grids, electrical, low volt, plumbing, mechanical, and then projected schedule. So we're going to start outside here, and here I am on your driveway, and you have purchased what I refer to as a 3498 plan, and you have the Colorado Foothills elevation. On the Colorado Foothills elevation, you have a board and batt siding up top and in the back. Everything you see that's still green board is masonry, will be stone. At the front porch, you've got half columns which are stone, and then the columns wrap in a trim board. The soffits are all still open, so the inspectors can see everything that they need to see. We're going to briefly take a walk around the house. You can also see by the elevation that all of your windows have grids. Yours have two vertical grids in all of the larger windows. The small windows where you can't get to, there's just a single. We just call that a 2V or a two vertical window. And we're going to walk around the outside. And like I mentioned, everything that you see that is still green board is getting stone masonry. I'm planning right now, and next week, the week of the 13th, we should be starting to install lath, masonry lath on both your house and your neighbors next door, the Gorels. Your houses are very close together in schedule, and I'll determine here in the next month or so, how things are going to play out for closings. But they're basically at the same stages. I'm going through rough inspections on the Gorels' house this week as well. So we're going to walk around this side, which would be the west side, so you can see the side elevation. As you can see, we've got masonry returning back about 12 feet off of the garage corner. Window in the garage. This is in the owner's entry. Then your electric service panel in the back corner. As we move around to the back of the house, you'll see that I still have green on the columns and on the other side, which we'll look at in a moment. You can see up top in the gable dormer bump out section is the board and batt siding. Also, I have a window well on either side. Really, I have two on the other side of the patio and one on this side. And I've installed grates. One is an egress grate that opens from the bedroom below, and the other side I've installed one grate as well, and that's so that you will have no missteps coming off your patio and accidentally step into a window well. So we have purchased and installed window well covers on both window wells next to the patio. This is an opportune time for me to show you your plot plan. And this shows the outline of your house on your lot. It also has a lot of other pertinent and important information on it. How it drains, what slopes we need to maintain the drainage at, and we adhere to this document very closely. Now, Craig can send you a copy of this if you don't have it, so you can begin your landscape planning. And your landscaper will know exactly what all of this means, and he'll know or she'll know that we need to maintain the drainage areas. We've got a swell in the back. That's what this arc is. That is how we're going to drain your lot. The high point in the rear is here at the southwest corner, about where I'm standing right now, and then this drains to the front of the lot, and then around the back and up the east side of the house to the front of the lot. But this is very good information for you to have and study. It's very self-explanatory. There's a legend on it, a little key that tells you what is what. But this is the outline of your house and driveway and walk And there are elevations and dimensions on here. It tells us how many steps everywhere. For example, there's 5 steps from your garage to your main floor. At the front entry, we've got a walk with 3 steps up onto a patio, split step, and then another step into the house. That's what the stop sign symbols are telling us are the number of steps. And for example, at the rear patio, there's just 1 step to grade. So as you can see, the rear patio here, we will grade up to just below the bottom edge of that concrete facing, and things will slope out to the swale that we will be cutting into the yard here to collect any surface drainage and take it to the front of the lot. So this is really a pretty gentle and a pretty sizable lot. There's a lot of room on the southeast corner there, and it's set to grade very gently, so you'll have a great usable rear and side yard. And we'll continue to walk around the back so you can get a feel for what this rear elevation looks like. So again, as I mentioned, anything that's green, this rear and the columns get stone mason stone as well. And you can see the window well cover on the left window well. And the grade again will be up on those window wells, just below the facing on that patio. It'll gently come out to the swale and take off to the front. And as you look at the east side, all the siding is installed, and then the front, it'll be the study area. It has a masonry wainscot on the side. We have rough gutters on, and then the downspouts and the finished gutters come after all masonry and paint is on. So that takes care of the outside. We're going to pause this and we're going to pick up on the inside of the house. Okay, here we are. I'm standing in your 3-stall garage. And looking at your electrical mini that you drew up with Craig, and you opted, you don't have any electrical options in the garage, but I want to tell you the features that we have in every garage. And that is, in the ceiling, we have 2 service outlets, and those are for garage door openers. And we've run the low volt wire as well back to the owner entry door, and there are sensor wires at the garage doors themselves. So you're all pre-wired for garage door openers. Behind the beam, on the other side of the monstrous steel beam here, we have 2 service lights. So this is the light for this side. And the power in the garage, standard power in the garage, is you've got an outlet on every wall. And generally, the outside garage wall will be occupied by the landscape contractor. He'll be plugging your sprinkler clock very possibly into the outside garage wall. So we'll leave that to him once they come on board. We're a little bit ways away from landscaping, but they might occupy that outlet there on the side. But we've got an outlet on service outlet on every wall. The garage, we just got stairs going up to the owner's entry, and that's it for the garage. We're going to move to the front entry, and we'll start at your foyer area. Okay, I'm standing on your front porch because I wanted to show you a feature that you've selected, and that's an optional 110 waterproof outlet on the front porch at this location, and that's what this device here is your optional 110 waterproof outlet. We've got ceiling cans in the front porch ceiling, 3. And as we come to the front entry, we also have another standard waterproof outlet at the entry. Chinchilla glass doors you've selected by elevation. And here we are entering the front of your home, the foyer of your home. So in the foyer, as you come in, there are 3 switches here. And what those switches are, these electrical switches are for, is first of all, a 3-way switch to the coach lights on the exterior of your home. So on the front of your garage, you can turn them off or on from here on a 3-way switch to the owner's entry when you enter through the garage. So you can so it's on a 3-way switch. The other switch is for the recessed cans on the front porch. And then we also have recessed cans here in the ceiling in the entryway. and those are on a three-way switch also. And I'll show you where that other side of the switch is, and that is right here as you would be entering the foyer area. So you could turn the recessed cans off behind yourself, and then a three-way switch for the chandelier in the entryway. And there's the other side of that switch is up at the top of the stairs, which I'll show you in a bit. We wire things very logically, and as you enter a room, there are switches in a very logical place. And as you exit an area, there are switches to turn lights off behind yourself, so you never have to back up. So as you enter what I call a traveler area, there's a light switch to turn lights on ahead of yourself, and when you leave that traveling area, there's a switch to turn lights off. So that's it for the foyer area. Service outlet on the wall. Here is the front coat closet. Then we're entering into the study. We've got you've opted for a single light glass door entry at the study, and this door will swing what we call a left hand. So you take your left hand and you put it there, and that's how this door will swing. Right inside the door there are two switches. One is for a ceiling light pre-wire, which you have, and the other, in every room, we switch one of the outlets, which generally is catty corner across the room. So that if you would like to plug a lamp or a device of some sort into half of the outlet, it's operable from the switch. So there's two switches here. One is for the ceiling light pre-wire, the other is for the half hot. We call it a half hot. It's half hot all the time and half switched. So half hot is across the room. Also in this room, low volt, you've opted for two what's called PH6s. And those are pre-wire boxes with Cat 6 wire in, one on the exterior wall and one on the adjoining garage wall. No additional electric items in this room, so we have the standard service outlets around the room. And that pretty much takes care of your study. Right outside the study is the powder room, and as you enter the powder room, it's a left-hand door, swing against the wall, and inside the room, there are two switches on the correct wall, which would be to your right. One is for the light, and one is for the fan. We've got a pedestal sink and a stool in the powder room. This is the wire for the light above the sink and fan. Okay, here we are back at the foyer or entry. As I mentioned, you turn your chandelier on here, your entry chandelier, so you've got light here. And the chandelier, the entry chandelier is on, I mentioned a three-way, I believe it's a four. So you can turn it off at the top of the stairs, turn it on at the top of the stairs to come down. If you're just traveling through the entry, you can turn it on here, and as you leave the entry, you can turn it off behind yourself. So here we are in the dining area, and we've got a three-way switch as you enter this dining area from the foyer, and the three-way switch is for the fixture, the hanging fixture in the dining room. So we've got the light on ahead of ourselves. We've got outlets, service outlets around the room. You have requested an additional outlet here on this wall, which is there. You've also requested two 4-inch mini cans above this, I believe it would be so-called buffet area. So we've got two mini cans, and those are switched right here above this cold air return. So we've got the mini can switch, we've got the three-way to turn the dining room fixture off behind yourself, and then we can turn on lights going in front of ourselves. What we have here is the butler's pantry, and so as you can see in the butler's pantry right off the dining room, we've got a sink. These are the under cabinet lights in the butler's pantry, and then we've got your double oven on the end of the wall. So we've got cabinets with a sink, cabinets, and you have requested this switch for the under cabinet lights. We also have an optional outlet for an under counter beverage center or refrigerator, and that's what that outlet is for as well. These under cab lights are switched at the entry or exit to the butler pantry. I've got three switches here. One of them is for the under cab lights. We've got a three-way to the hall because we have recessed cans above ourselves, and then we've got the pendant lights over the kitchen island switches here as well. So butler pantry, under cab lights, outlet for the beverage center, recessed cans above. Now we're going to just take a stroll into the owner's entry, and then we'll come into the other half of the kitchen. So in the owner's entry, in the garage, there are two switches. One is the three-way for the coach lights, like I mentioned, three-way to the front entry. The other is for the ceiling lights in the garage. As you enter the owner's entry, switch here to turn what I call the travelers on ahead of yourself. There's traveling lights or recessed cans in this area. No additional electric was opted for here. This is our back hall closet. So as we move through the owner's entry, here's the switch to turn the lights off behind myself. And as I turn this way, switch to turn travelers on ahead of myself. And those are on a three-way as well. So now we're into the project room area. And in the project room, we've got an outlet here. You've also requested a PH6, which is a Cat 6 pre-wire here as well. I'm guessing you probably have counter space planned here. So behind is just standard open area. This is all the wires you see here are all of the home runs. We call them home runs from every light fixture, every switch, everything comes through this area and down outside to the main electrical panel. So this is the main area that we brought all home runs to that'll connect to the breakers in the outside service panel. And those will all be labeled completely. Cans above. Now in this project room in your home, we've dropped this ceiling, which you don't see in every home. And the reason we dropped this ceiling is you've got special makeup air for the range that you have selected in the kitchen, and we have to bring this fresh air in from outside when the CFM requirement from your range requires that you need more air. So we have to run this ducting to the outside, and we cannot run through the floor joists, so we drop it below the floor joists, and then we drop the ceiling to an 8 foot rather than the balance is 9 foot, a little bit less than 8 foot. So and then we've got recessed cans above us in this area. So as we move through to what I call the secondary area, we've got cabinets below the windows and uppers here next to the window. You've opted for under cabinet lights here. We've got a microwave as well, microwave wiring. And the switch for the under cabinet lights is right here. So as we exit this area and we move ahead, this is lights moving, turning off behind yourself. And then as we move here, we've got under cabinet lights and lighting ahead of yourself. So here is the under cab lights on either side of the range. And this is the electrical for the hood. And we've got the venting and the low volt wiring for the makeup air. Power for the range. And power above the countertops on either side of the range. Here we are at the other workspace, which is the kitchen sink. Kitchen sink is centered here. Everything is centered. The hood, the sink, the island, the lighting above, everything runs in a very straight center line. So we've got our sink and dishwasher here, and then the optional peninsula island. This is just a temporary piece of plywood sitting on this top. So as we move over to the other side of the kitchen, this is the refrigerator wall. We've got, got the refrigerator. This is the outlet for the refrigerator, water service. We've got cabinets, under cabinet lights here, and the switch for the under cabinets is on this wall right here. So service outlet with under cab lights. In the kitchen island, we've got outlets everywhere, so that you can, if you need, you have service outlets everywhere on that island, on all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 outlets on that island, so you shouldn't have any issues on the island. So here we are at the entrance to the grand room. But before we go to the grand room, I'm going to show you outside here. This is the exit to the outdoor room. Double doors going out. There are recessed cans in the ceiling. And a optional waterproof outlet in the ceiling right up there, and that is on a switch as well. And that switch is located right here next to the door. So your waterproof switched outlet is here. The recessed cans are on the other side of the door. The recessed cans for the exterior. Okay, here we are at the grand room, and the only additional electrical that you've requested in the grand room are, we've got 4 recessed cans in the ceiling, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 2 4-inch mini cans over either side of the fireplaces above the niches, and we've got an outlet at 75. You can see we also have the pre-pull, the conduit and a pull chain for low volt coming from here, which on the low volt map, this tells me that we've got a CP6 down here, which is another Cat 6 wire. And then from the panel below, this conduit, if you want to pull any cable up for possible television above the fireplace, there's a pull string inside of this conduit, so you can pull cable up for the TV. We've got a conduit with a CP6 above the fireplace with the outlet at 75 inches, CP6 next to. Got the gas shut off for, this is the gas line shut off for the fireplace. On this side, always on the right side, is the switch to turn the fireplace on and off. So it's not on the face of the fireplace wall. So let me get back to make sure I've got all the options that you selected covered. I do. We've got the 4 recessed cans and the 2 4-inch minis, and those are operated over here in the grand room. I've got a switch bank of 4 here. One is for the minis, the 4-inch minis. One is for the recessed cans. Half hot outlet across the room, and then the travelers behind yourself to turn off lights behind yourself. And that's it for the grand room. And we're finished with the foyer, so we're going to pause and then we're going to walk upstairs. Okay, I'm standing at the upper landing of your main staircase, and the reason I'm standing here, I wanted to point out you have opted for the step lighting package on this stairway, and there's 1 step light on each landing opposite each other, 1 on the landing I'm standing on and 1 at the bottom, plus 2 up the stairs, which are spaced evenly in that stair run. So there is your optional stair lights. Then as we get to the top, as I mentioned earlier, I've got switches here, and there's a 3-way to turn that chandelier off behind yourself. We've got a lot of switches as we enter this bonus room because we've got a few options going on. So here I am standing in the bonus room, and in the bonus room electrically, you've requested 4 recessed cans, which are in the ceiling. So I have a switch here for the recessed cans, plus I have a half-hot outlet across the room. In the low volt, you've opted for a CP6 on this wall, adjoining behind the master bath wall, and there's your CP6. The rest of the outlets are just all general service outlets around the room, which there are quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 outlets in this bonus room. So a lot of capability to do whatever you need electrically. So we've got 4 recessed cans operated right here, and a half hot. This three switches here, got the 3-way for the chandelier, 3-way for the step lights, so you can turn the step lights on downstairs, turn them on up here, then a light switch to turn on, again, what I like to call the travelers. So in this hallway, into the travelers. So these recessed cans come on with that traveling switch. You've also opted in this upper hallway for a 4-inch mini can here in this recessed area, and that switch is located right here. So you can turn the 2 travelers behind yourself off, turn your mini on if you choose, or keep traveling. These will stay on. Then I've got to get my bedroom set, so bear with me while I go into bedroom 2 and 3, which is this way. As we walk down the hallway to the secondary bath, we've got a linen closet, we've got your upstairs mechanical room. This furnace handles all heating and cooling for the upstairs only. So all bedrooms, bathrooms, and general areas on the top floor are handled by this air handler. The basement and the main floor are handled by the one that you'll see in the basement in just a little bit. So as we walk through, here we are in bedroom 2. In bedroom 2, there is no electrical options, but we have got a ceiling light pre-wire here and a half hot across the room. So we've got outlets down low. Requested also on the adjacent to the bathroom wall, a CP6 pre-wire from low volt, and that's in place. Also in this bedroom, there's a walk-in closet, door swings against the wall, switch here for recessed can lighting in the walk-in closet. I'll head back. Let's go through the Jack and Jill bathroom here, as long as we're right here. So switch to turn on ahead of yourself, lights on ahead of yourself. We've got a double sink, double lav, with lights above the lavs and power outlets above each sink on the sidewalls. Tub shower combination, 2 switches in here, one for the light above the tub and the other for the fan in the bathroom. Tub shower and stool. Then 3-way switch. As we move to bedroom number 3, you can turn off lights behind yourself or ahead if you're coming from bedroom 3. So in bedroom 3, we've got ceiling light pre-wire and a half hot outlet across the room, and those are switched right here. And in bedroom 3, it's got its own, again, walk-in closet with a single switch inside the door for the recessed can lighting. Now we'll walk back down the hall and we'll head for bedroom 4 with its own bathroom. So here we are. We can turn the lights off behind yourself. This is on a 3-way, so you can, whatever end of the hallway you're on, you can turn them on or off. So we're going to turn those lights off behind yourself. As you come into this bedroom, there are 2 switches here. One is for the ceiling light pre-wire, and the other is for the half-hot outlet across the room. So in this bedroom, there is no low volt selected. Oh, excuse me. I've got a CP6 pre-wired here. And that's correct. It is. This is the location for it. So as I mentioned, as you come into the room, ceiling light pre-wire and half hot across the room with the CP6 pre-wire. Bedroom, and there is also on the low volt side, pardon me, TV pre-wire. So you've got cable pre-wire down low with power. Tub shower combination. As you come in, there's 2 switches, one for the light above the lav. So you've got a lav, a stool, and a tub shower with an operable window at that tub, above the tub, but also a fan in the room. So now we'll go back down the hall. We've got lights on ahead of ourselves. We're going to turn the lights off behind ourselves, and we're going to walk into the master suite area. So as you, here's the hall cans you turn off behind yourself, and as you move into the master suite, there's a switch here to turn on your travelers ahead of yourself. So we've got a recessed can in this foyer entrance to the master suite. This way is the master closet. So we have recessed can in the master closet, 3 recessed cans, switch right here, plus service outlets all around the closet. You have requested a 110 outlet, and that option is on the exterior wall, which is right here. This is an optional outlet. You've requested us to locate the standard outlet here, and that's where it is located. We offer 1 standard outlet in every master closet, and you've requested it be here, and that's where we've put it. Also in this master closet, this is the attic access location in this house. And right here, you see the attic access. And as you open the attic access, there is a light up there and a service outlet. And that service outlet can be used for anything you choose, whether it's service or you've got something else that you want to do in the attic. But this is the attic access location in this house. So off of the master, closet is the laundry room. As you enter the laundry room, there's a three-way switch for the lights, which you can turn on from the hallway as well, plus a fan. Here we got washer left, dryer right, and we've got laundry sink and cabinets, outlets above countertop, dryer vent through the roof. And as I mentioned, there's a three-way switch for the fan and light off of the hallway as well. So now we'll head into the master bedroom. So in the master bedroom, you have opted for 4 recessed cans up in the coffer. Plus we have a standard ceiling fan pre-wire that we do in every master. I've got a 4-gang switch bank here for the master. And what I've got switched here is turning lights off behind yourself. We've got the 4 recessed cans. We've got a switch for the ceiling fan pre-wire and a half hot across the room. You've also requested on this wall an outlet at 72, plus we are pre-wired with Cat 6 and cable at the 72 plus down low for the low volt. Service outlets around the room. As we walk into the master bathroom, the light switches on the right-hand side as you come in. There are several things going on here. We've got lights above the shower. We've got lights above the tub. We've got lights above the vanities. We also have a fan. Stool room is off to your left, and inside the stool room are 2 switches, one for the light and one for the fan. There's a linen closet inside the bathroom. Your house, your model gets a full 8-foot shower, and this will be all glass enclosed here. You've also opted for a rain head, which is centered right here. This is your rain head, rain shower head. We've got standard. We have begun setting all of our shower heads at 84 inches, and that's what this standard shower head is here with the diverter to the rain head. Poured shower pan, glass enclosure, seat inside of the shower. This is the location of the freestanding tub, which will be back about a foot off of this wall. Also, the 2 lavs, his and her lavs, with lights above and power on each side. That pretty much wraps up the upper level. We're going to take a pause and we're going to go down to the basement level, and that'll be next. Here I am at the entrance to the lower level or basement, and right inside this entrance there are 2 switches here. One is for the second set of step lights that you have opted for. The other is for recessed cans under the stair landings. So you can see, again, for the step light option, 1 at each landing, high and low, and 2 spaced on the main run. I'm going to go down to the bottom and shine a light on this landing, on this other step light right down here at this landing. Plus there's another recessed can in this landing above. Now this is good basement, and it's very light down here, so we got a few flashlights, but I think we can do this. And I'm standing at the most, at the ugliest point in your basement, which is the unfinished storeroom. But as you come in, there's a light switch to turn lights on ahead of yourself. This is the unfinished storage area. As you come in, this is the location of the sump pump and power 4, and this is the ejection pipe to go to the exterior. Now we do install sump pumps, and it's very quiet. It is a backup system, which I'll explain to you in just a minute. As we come around this way, this is the main water and sewer location that are entering your house. You can see this cap on the floor. That's the main sewer clean out. All the other pipes connect underground to this main sewer, which goes to the street. This is what we finally refer to as the water tree. We've got the main service coming in from the street, from the water meter pit. We've got a shut-off valve. We've got what's called a pressure reducing valve and a shut-off above it, and that's isolated in the event that this ever needs service. That adjusts and holds the pressure, the water pressure to your house. This is the sprinkler tee or the irrigation tee. There's a shutoff for the irrigation water, a drain valve. This is an anti-hammer valve, which because a lot of times in irrigation systems you get air in the lines, and this is to prevent any knocking or banging. You won't hear anything in those pipes in the event that any air does get in. This goes to the vacuum breaker located outside, which ties directly into the irrigation box, valve box, that will be installed before your homeowner walkthrough. So this is our main water tree. This is the main water service line to shut off here. And this feeds over to the main mechanical room, which we'll be looking at in a minute. But back here in this corner, excuse me, this is the main sewer drop coming from upstairs. This also goes to the main underground, as I mentioned. So now we're going to walk into the other unfinished area. As I mentioned, we have a sump pit here. I'm going to tell you something as we move into this other unfinished mechanical room. So as you come in, there's a switch to turn on lights above over your head. This is the main mechanical room where we have the furnace, which services the basement and the main living level. This is a water heater location. On the left, this wall here is where the low volt panel will be installed. There's a box, a canister. You can see all of the low volt wires are labeled, and they will terminate those to a block inside there. This is the power for the low volt panel. They just ran this low volt, I believe, on Monday, and they didn't have the box with them, but that'll be set here in very short order. No other options in the unfinished mechanical area, but what I wanted to show you here was there are two small PVC pipes first. And these are from way up on the top floor. One of them is for the drain pan in the mechanical room. So any condensate water that happens sometimes in winter and in summer from the air conditioning system goes into a pan in that mechanical room and drain. This pipe is connected all the way down to the floor drain. The other is from the laundry room up on the second floor. We put a laundry pan in underneath the washer area because it's up on the upper level, and then the washer pan drains to the next pipe, and that all comes down to the floor drain here as well. This, you can see I've got written on this pipe, this is our vapor pipe. Now, in every house, we put an interior drain system. That interior drain system collects any possible percolated water that comes up through the ground, or any atmospheric water or precipitation if we would get 100-year rains, and to get the ground gets saturated enough where the interior drain system would collect any water. It goes to the sump pump or to the sump pit, and the pump then senses it and ejects it to the outside. But this vapor pipe is tied on to the under drain pipe that's underneath the concrete slab. And that is completely around the entire basement. And this vapor pipe is designed to just naturally vent any vapor that might accumulate in the ground and up through underneath the concrete slab. We've designed a complete floating slab here. This concrete is a floating slab. We'll guarantee that it will move over time. We've made several accommodations in the construction process to accommodate any movement in the slab. But this is a pipe which goes all the way up through the roof and just vents out to the outside in the event that any vapor or anything collects in that drain system, in that drain pipe, which is a great feature to have, but it automatically vents it through the roof. Now we're going to go to the finished side of your basement. So as we come down the basement stairs, you've opted for us to take this closet out of this area, which has a standard closet, so we don't have that closet. This is the wet bar area. We've got a countertop with about a 12-inch overhang here. We've got cabinets, low cabinets here. We've got a sink, and I believe we've got a beverage center. Yep. Here's our power for the optional beverage center that you have down here, and then outlets above countertop. Now you can see by our ducting we are unable to install a recessed can at this location, and this happens in many houses where standard would be a recessed can, or buyers opt for a recessed can here. Well, what we install here is a 6-inch LED light, and the trim looks just like a recessed can. So it looks very similar to the trims on a recessed can, but you've got a 6-inch LED light here in the center. Also are pre-wired for 2 pendants that hang down over the wet bar. So here we are in the great rec room. We have no optional electric in this area, but I believe we have some low volt. We do. We've got the 2 windows here. As you can see, one window has the grate on top, and that's the one that I had mentioned that is very close to the patio, and we don't want anybody stepping off the patio down into this. You'll see in here, in every window well, we also put a drain in there in the bottom of the window well, which attaches to the underground drain system. So any precipitation that will fall or gather through the window wells goes into the drain system and to the sump pit. These are my initials here, noting that we've got a cracked window here. We'll be replacing that. The low volt options that you've selected down here are, pardon me, on this wall we've got a CP6 pre-wire. Let's see. It's not here. I need to get that CP6 in. Looks like they've got it on this wall over here, but I'm not sure. It looks like they've got a cable. I'm looking at your mini, and pardon me, it doesn't look like it's in the correct location. The CP6, if you want to look at your mini here, calls for that box to be against this wall over here. And we've got power there, but I believe this is where that CP6 needs to be. So if you could communicate with Craig, or Craig communicate with the Riva Daenerys, and just confirm that that CP6 does come over here, and I'll gladly get it over there before we get to drywall. But that is the only low volt, other than we've got a TV in the bedroom, which we'll take a look at in a minute. But as we come into the great room, or into the rec room here, I've got a 4 switch bank here, and we've got recessed cans. I like to separate. We've got 8 recessed cans in this rec room, and I like to separate them 4 and 4 because it's almost like 2 separate rooms. So on this side, where the 2 windows are, I've got a switch for 4 recessed cans, and then I've got another switch for the 4 recessed cans, which are on this side. And so they operate independently. And those are also on a 3-way, so as you enter the bedroom hall area, you can turn off these cans here, and this side off behind yourself, or on ahead of yourself as you're entering from the bedroom area. The other switch here is to turn travelers off behind yourself and half hot across the room. So as we move through the rec room here, we've got outlets all around the room, plenty of service outlets. As I mentioned, we've got 3 switches here. We've got 3-way for a half hot, we've got 3-way for the cans, and then we've got on a 3-way, we've got a hall light here, so we want to be able to turn it on ahead of ourselves. Then as you go into the bedroom, you can turn it off behind yourself. So that's what we've got here. As we walk through this area, we have got a bathroom here, which we've got a tub shower, 2 switches as you enter, one for the fan and one for the light above the tub and above the lab. Also power outlet next to the lab, so we've got a tub shower, stool, and a lab. Got a linen closet in the hallway, and as we enter bedroom 6, we've got 3 switches in this bedroom. And the reason we have 3 switches is you have opted for a ceiling light pre-wire in the center. We have we have 4 recessed cans and a half hot across the room. Also, you have low volt pre-wire, a PH6 or a Cat 6 wire on this wall per your diagram. Then we've got another window well with a cover on it. Because this is a sleeping area, we have to make this an egress area. There'll be a ladder installed on this concrete window well, but then that lid, that cover, that grate opens up so that in the event of an emergency, someone can exit this bedroom through the window well. As we moved through the bedroom, we got a walk-in closet here with the lights, with a recessed can. Then we got the unfinished storage area back here as well. And this will just get insulated walls. We have a light, and we have a service outlet down low. This just gets all insulated. The concrete is all insulated, and this is the way it is. Now, this basically concludes our pre-drywall walkthrough, but I'd like to take a pause and get back upstairs to get to my paperwork, because there's a couple other things I would like to mention. So we're going to pause here. Wraps up our pre-drywall walkthrough, and I appreciate your patience and your understanding with why we have to do this. This COVID-19 has really thrown the construction industry into a tailspin, as all industries. We are so thankful that we are able to continue working and building homes such as yours. But we have to take many precautions. So I want you to know that things may extend a little bit longer than we had anticipated, because I can only put a certain number of people in a house at a time, and I can't mix trades. I can't have a plumber with an electrician. I can't have a cabinet person with a tile person. I have to keep those trades separate. So bear with us as we work through this difficult time. But when I started out today, we had these many things to cover on our walk today. We talked about the grading and the drainage, and make sure if you don't have a copy of this plot plan, get it from Craig. We talked about the elevation window grids, all the electrical locations in your house, the low voltage security. I've also made a note here on this, and Craig will have a copy of this and he'll send it to you. I've got to relocate the PH6 in the basement rec room to the wall as designated on the Mini, and I'm going to show you that on the Mini where it is located. And I would presume you located it there for a reason, and that would be on that stair wall. Well, currently they have it located here, but it looks like you wanted it on that end, and I'm going to gladly get it there. So that's an item that I have listed here. We've also looked at the plumbing locations, the mechanical locations. I think we're a little bit beyond doing any changes, so the change orders is an item on this list, and so now everything is ordered for your house, so we won't be making any material changes or labor changes. Now, the last thing on this list, what we like to talk about is our projected schedule. Right now, we are tracking for a mid to late July completion timeline, but that's pegged without taking into some of the considerations that I still need to make. So it could be late July to early August because of this COVID-19. Now, we are all hopeful, you as well as us, that this pandemic will pass and that everything will get back to normal here soon. So I appreciate your time today. Thank you for your patience and your understanding. And Craig has got a copy of this, and he'll be sending it to you along with a copy of this document that I've signed here. So thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Rivadeneira, and look forward to seeing you in the future. Any issues you have, please contact Craig. Also, our visiting hours on site are Sundays, so please contact Craig, and you can visit at any time on any Sunday. Thank you very much.